Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. How has the full moon in Cancer that we had a few days ago, how has it been treating you, that energy? How has it been affecting you? And how do those ripple effects continue to affect you, continue to inform Virgo lives, moving throughout the very end of December 2018 now, and even into 2019. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Virgo. Virgos at the end of December 2018. Moving into 2019. Regarding the effects of that magical full cold moon in Cancer. Such a general statement, but this has been really powerful for you, Virgos. I can feel it. It's been really exciting for a lot of you. Why so many ads? It's so annoying. This has been a really exciting time for a lot of Virgos. 5 of Cups reversed, moving out of a period of mourning. But you don't want to leave behind more than you lost, right? Let's get more detail. 6 of Cups, okay. Yeah, you're having some nostalgia, some really fond memories about something that you're finished mourning. You are, but you're aware that you have reason to not want to leave behind more than you lost. A home may have broken apart, may have fallen apart. Or for a lot of you, recently there's been some type of financial loss. You didn't get a job you thought you were going to get. You didn't get a raise you thought you were going to get. There was an expense that came up that you didn't expect. Maybe, you know, for some of you who partook in holiday festivities, perhaps those things turned out to be a lot more expensive than you had originally anticipated. But you're about to take your power back. You're I think for a lot of you, you're sick of that type of financial woe informing your life, being such a defining aspect of your life, and so you want to be the boss. A lot of you are going to start your own business, something like that. And then we've got, because we have the Emperor card showing up here in the near future, but there's a couple different messages. There's also a love message here that I'll expand on. We've got the 8 of Wands in reverse, the double upright, and then a new beginning with the Fool card. So I do see some of you starting a new business, starting your own. I think it's like it's starting your own business, but something where you're the boss, something where you're in charge. Some of you have been mourning or finished mourning something with a Taurus in particular, and you're squashing that. You're done with it. In the Deviant Moon Tarot, sometimes that specific message comes through, and I certainly see it here with that little devil, that little bull underneath. And instead, in the Taurus's stead, a Capricorn may be entering. More likely, though, actually, in this instance, I see this Capricorn representing Capricorn season. So I think you're going to have to do some, you're going to have to be patient and take it slow throughout the rest of Capricorn season, which takes us into January, right? And then by the end of January, even the beginning of February, you have this new beginning. So maybe you're ready to start that new business or that new job, some area where you feel like you are the boss. But for others, as I said, it was the loss that you're finished mourning. It has to do with just being finished mourning like I said, a loving situation. Now, not necessarily a romantic partnership, but for a lot of you, that's what it is. So there may have been a wolf in sheep's clothing, so to speak, Virgos. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I can hear it. This is a lot like one of the other readings. Not necessarily because of the cards, but just because of the message that's overall coming through from it. So something fell apart with someone, you know, because of insecurities, and maybe your own, but I think they were calling them insecurities of yours, but really this other person was a wolf in sheep's clothing in the sense that their mind was on someone else. And I'm sorry that I hate to say that, but you know, they weren't completely present with you. They weren't completely there with you because they were upset about someone or something else. And it just made everything fall apart. They weren't living in their truth. They weren't being honest with you. They weren't bringing their, you know, their reality to the situation. And if you had a family and a home with this person, that's why you're in the space of not wanting to leave behind more than you lost. You want to maintain a friendship with them. It may have been, I may be downplaying this way too much because a lot of you are having a deep pain in your heart space about this, Virgos. And so even though this person wasn't honest, and even though you know this person's affections are perhaps with another for some of you, because you had a family, because you had a home, or just because you pictured that type of security with them, because you thought you had it all or were headed to having it all, you just don't want to leave behind more than you lost. You are moving out of a space of mourning again, but you want to maintain the friendship. You want to maintain the family for some of you. And because you do have, also because you just have very fond memories with this person. I think it may have been a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of personality in some capacity, not necessarily quite as extreme as that implies, but I see the light and the dark in this version of the Six of Cups again, which I saw earlier in another reading. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of, but you know, you see the devil on stage, and then the lighter energy there, which is also reflected in the crowd as well, right? It's you know, you still have affection for this person. You still love this person, even though you know their light and their dark sides, even though you know their good and their bad, which, you know, we all have good and bad, but it's like this person, it was extreme. And you have, unlike a lot of the other signs at this time in this session anyway, you have a clear picture of this, Virgo. Your nostalgia and your fond memories of this person are clear. You know, when you look back, you see clearly that you see clearly both. You see their evil aspects, their darker aspects, their shadow aspects, and what was good about them. You know them. You know them well. You knew them well. You knew them inside and out. And this, what I'm saying, could still apply to the work, career, job aspect of this. You know, both messages are here. Some of you are not wanting to leave behind more than you lost in a work situation, still wanting to utilize the things you learned, the tools you gained, the network you gained in that job. But others, it was a family, a relationship, home together. Yeah. For more of you, I think it was the home and the family life, or at least I'm being told to expand on that more. So that's what we're going to move forward with. We're going to use that template, so to speak, but you can apply it to like a work situation, right? So you knew this person well, and you see them clearly now. The things that you miss, is the truth about them? Is there better qualities, right? But you aren't under any illusions. When you visit those memories, when you visit that nostalgia, when you allow yourself to be in that space where you miss them, my goodness, when you allow yourself to miss those better qualities, you clearly see the negative aspects. You know why it was a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know why it fell apart. Again, I think you see why one or both of you were feeling insecure in the situation, or at least why ultimately it wasn't a secure situation. Like I said, I feel like you thought you had it all with this person, and it's a deep pain because of that, because you thought this was your divine partnership. I mean, I haven't even seen, I don't think, maybe one in these. You're the 11th reading now, and maybe one in one other reading I may have seen a king and a queen of the same suit show up, which does indicate a divine partnership. But here we have the Emperor and the Empress showing up. I mean, Virgo, a lot of you thought this was the one. You thought this was it. But for those divine feminines who thought this was your divine masculine, it looks like someone who fits the bill even more so is going to be present in the near future. Now, that doesn't mean that you're ready to engage in a relationship with someone else, but they just may be. Oh, I thought the recording was going to stop. But they just may be present in the near future. You may meet them. They may present themselves. Or some of you, you just start to paint a picture of what it is that you really want to see in your actual divine masculine, now that you've realized that this perfect picture you thought you had isn't what you thought it was. Nonetheless, whether this is a career reading or a relationship reading for you, your advice is the Empress card from the SpirtSong Tarot deck here. This beauty and abundance, to embrace your own beauty and abundance. To create, and I'm hearing write for a lot of you, to create, but that's just an example. Any art form or any work, but yeah, definitely for a lot of you, it's write. And maybe what I mean, for some of you, your art form is writing, but for others, just start to journal and write about what it is that you want to create, right? But nurture your home, whatever is your business, whatever abundance you have currently to show gratitude for. Maybe in particular your garden, if you're somewhere where that's relevant, or you have somewhere inside that you can. If what I'm saying is the weather may not allow that outside for some of us, but it certainly doesn't for me at this time. But maybe you have an indoor one, but something that makes you come alive, feel alive by giving life to something else. Maybe that is literally your children, mothering your children, with the Empress card being the advice. But for a lot of you, it's mothering something else, some other type of creation, like I said, writing, or maybe painting, or creating music, or any type of art, or something that can be viewed as art. Maybe with the message of, with the Emperor coming through in your near future, and me having said you know, that that for some of you, you'll be meeting this person even though you're not really feeling ready for them yet. And for others, you know, you're just going to be sort of getting in touch with what qualities you would want to see in your divine masculine, your emperor, or your divine counterpart if you're not wanting a divine masculine. Maybe that I'm talking about writing down those qualities, expanding on these good qualities that you had in your past. Yes, not wanting to leave behind more than you lost. So you lost this person, you lost this picture, but you may want to keep some of those qualities. You remember what was good about them, what was good about the partnership, the situation, what makes it so hard to part with, right? So maybe, you know, you're wanting to write down what you want to see in your divine masculine, divine feminines, and what would match you, and give life to it in that way by yes, looking for a lot of the same qualities, that the ones that you miss from that partnership, from that person, and not leaving behind more than you lost in that way, as well as maybe keeping a friendship, maybe to, you know, keeping the family together in a certain sense for some of you, or just keeping a friendship with this person in general. Maybe for some of you, it's that you had a lot of security in this support system, like this this person could have been a major part of your friend group too, right? Or you shared a lot of the same friends, perhaps lived together even, you know, that's more specific just for some, but yeah, you know, a lot of you might not want to give up the mutual networking and support system that you had with this person, right? So it's slightly different messages. Now, for those of you who are divine masculines, I see you, you know, moving into your own divine masculine energy, or even for females, for women, you know, you might be, you know, coming to be the authority and the boss, and that type of figure that's in charge in your own life, making your own choices now. And that can be the silver lining for some of you in this situation. Like I said, building and focusing on your own abundance and appreciating what it is that you can cultivate for yourself in that way. And the fact that you're without this partner, but now that means you get to make all the choices in your life. You're in charge. Where you're headed, what you have for dinner every night, and what you watch every night, as simple applications of this, but in a major way, you know, where you want to move and where you want to work, and what direction you want to take the family in certain areas of life. That's all up to you now, right? Without this other person in your home, or this other partner informing those decisions. You know, if it was the type of partnership where you discussed major things or minor things, you know, now at least a silver lining can be that all those decisions are up to you, at least when the kids are in your house. You know, dietary decisions are up to you, etc., etc. Like I said, in small ways and in large ways, that can certainly be a silver lining. You get to be the boss. You get to be, you get to call the shots. Not to say that it wasn't, you know, a mutual partnership before, but now it's in your home and in your life. It's totally up to you. So that can offer a little bit of reprieve post morning, right? But I definitely think, with the Empress card as your advice, I definitely think that a major part of this reading is to focus on whatever you're creating. Again, the line I want to use for you is focus on giving life to things that give you life. That's why I noted the garden. If that doesn't resonate, like if you can't think of anything in your life, then maybe you want to get a potted plant to take care of in your house, or a pet even. So I really see, I definitely don't always read the Empress card this way particularly, but I specifically see you being advised to focus on giving yourself life growing your own, expanding your own life through focusing on things that you can give life to. Maybe that's other people. If you're a healer of sorts, maybe that's other people. Maybe it's decorating your home, as simple as redecorating your home. For a lot of you, it is working with animals, specifically. And, you know, there's this message here to realize that this is what growth looks like. You know, that's one of those things that we know, but sometimes we need reminded. And I think the reason that this doesn't feel as emotional for me is because, like I said, Virgos, you are post-mourning. You've mourned this situation, or more specifically, person, perhaps. No, you don't want to leave behind more than you lost, but you're moving out currently, out of a space of mourning, whereas things maybe, the truth of the situation became apparent, I think, right around the full moon, right around there. You're moving out of that space of mourning, and again, you see this person and what happened clearly. You do. And with the Emperor and the upright, you know, for a few of you, there is this new Emperor energy going to be introduced soon. Someone who actually fits the bill. But for the rest of you, you're going to take control of your own decisions, yes, and of painting, writing, specifically maybe that picture out of what a divine masculine should be, since this last one has failed you. Or vice versa, you know, if you're trying to call an Empress energy in, a divine feminine energy in, you know, this can definitely apply to males as well. You're stepping into your divine masculine power, and in that space, you're wanting to call this Empress energy in. And in that case, honestly, for divine masculine, for masculine Virgos, you too are advised to focus on what you're creating and what you can give life to that gives you life. But I also think that for some of you, you're actually advised to call in your Empress energy. And I'm sensing that some of you are, on some level, some of you are actually scared to. So for masculines, you two had a wolf in sheep's clothing sort of situation. You two are post-mourning, and you two are looking back and seeing this feminine energy clearly. You thought you had it all. You hoped you had it all. But someone was very insecure in the situation. Someone's heart was with someone else, just as I said. But you're actually advised to call in the type of Empress energy that you want. For feminines, like I said, you either are meeting him soon, or are going to start painting the picture of what you want to call in. But for masculines, you're actually advised with this Empress energy to call in what it is that you want. And as soon as I say that, I can sense that you're scared. You're scared of her. You're scared to meet her, as almost as if you're not ready for her. Like there's a reason why you ended up with a sheep or a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like there's a reason why you didn't get what you wanted. You didn't get what you thought you had asked for. Like you didn't really want it. You didn't really ask for it. Some part of you was fearful of meeting the real thing, and so you ended up with someone who was faking it, or really had their heart set on someone else. And there's some apprehension, at least some fear around meeting the real thing. But in the near future, you are stepping in to your divine masculine energy. I mean, I'm not saying that you haven't owned it before. I'm not saying this is the first time. You know, for some of you it is, but for others, you know, it's just finding this again, reconnecting with it, a partnership that wasn't exactly secure, that wasn't exactly real, or what you hoped and thought it would be, maybe knocked you out of, so to speak, took you out of your complete divine masculine energy, especially for those of you who are dealing with a Taurus. But you're advised to call in the real thing. And you know, I want to add to that, when you're ready, when you feel ready. Like if you still feel apprehension around that, if you're still fearful of that, then, you know, it's when you're ready. But as far as across the board for both masculines and feminines, I think a really healthy and relevant, necessary thing to apply yourself to is whatever work you're ready to create that you want to share with the rest of the world, whatever you want to grow alongside yourself. You know, this is what growth looks like. You are in a period of growth. You know, it's mourning and it's nostalgia and it's things falling apart and getting over all that. Yes, but that is what growth looks like. And this is just maybe, you know, not the prettiest part of it. But what is more beautiful than taking something that seems uglier than anything and turning it into something beautiful, right? And so across the board, you are advised to focus on your creations, focus on what you can nurture alongside yourself. As you grow, what can you create to grow with you, to as art does, represent that growth, and really be like this external outward symbol of your own growth, right? And as you progress into, as I said, I'll repeat myself, as you progress into 2019, it's slow movement, right? It's one, I don't see a lot of communication between you and this person that you're moving out of a space of mourning over. But also, you know, that growth, not necessarily your own, but in this project you're working on, this creation that you're focused on giving life to, it's slow growth. You know, there's work required and it's slow, but it's heading somewhere. It may seem almost stagnant moving through the rest of Capricorn season. So I think a big message here is, don't get discouraged if it seems almost stagnant with the Eight of Wands in reverse, even all the way through Capricorn season. Give it time. Let it, you know, that's how growth happens. Look at a plant, look at an animal. There are moments, there are stages where it seems to plateau, but it's just growing quietly, right? It seems still, but there's activity inside. And that may be what it is. I may have just said what I meant to say. It may be that the project seems a little stagnant because something within you is needing to evolve throughout the rest of Capricorn season before it will be properly reflected externally in that work, right? So give it through Capricorn season. Let it be. Don't think that it's getting stale. Don't think that it's stagnant. Don't get too discouraged if it takes through Capricorn season for it to really blossom, right? And then moving out of Capricorn season. For some of you, there's a significant Aries energy entering, yes, but for almost all, I see the Fool in this instance as this brand new beginning. That is on the other side of channeling your own emotions and your own growth into a work again, into giving life to something outside of yourself. And I really do. I think it will be a work that reflects what is going on within you, Virgos. And keep in mind that even if it's a project that you love, you know, even if it's a project that you love, even if it's a work that you love, there's still, well, one, you can channel your heartbreak, any heartbreak that you're still feeling, any healing that still needs to happen. You can channel that emotion into that artwork, right? But even when it's work you love to do, there are still parts of every process that anyone doesn't like, right? I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think you see what I'm saying. Like you may be expecting it to reap more rewards than it does at first. Or more so what I mean is like with this, I love reading tarot and I love sharing these tarot readings, but I hate the tech aspect of this. I struggle with my tech and it is frustrating. I hate it. I even studied film and film production and I just don't like it. It's just so boring to me. And you'll notice, you know, I don't do a lot of like fancy footwork with the thumbnails and stuff like that. It's not what I'm here for. It's not what I guess I'm going to have to get better at it as I go on, but it's you know, the meat and potatoes of any type of project. It's often, you know, not something you love to do. So keep that in mind. You know, I don't want you to get frustrated with it before the blossoming actually happens. And there were cards that came through that indicated this message to me. Of course, I'm not just spouting this off to you. I saw it in the reading. But yeah, the Three of Pentacles, what reverse, showed up below after your Fool card, and yeah, I think, you know, there's going to be either collaborations that are necessary that you don't enjoy, or parts of the process, like my tech part of the process, that it just aren't what you love to do. But if you want to share it with the world, it's part of the process, you know. And you may not have the funds or the means to hire someone to take care of those. That's exactly what some of you are running into. You'd like to hire somebody to just take care of that part of it, that portion of it. And you just may not have the means yet. But don't give up. Don't give up on that which you are channeling your emotions and maybe even your heartbreak for a lot of you into. Before you see the blossom. Be patient with it. You know, I didn't see Temperance, and I didn't see the Hangman show up, but I definitely feel that message of be patient with it. If the process, you know, isn't what you expected, isn't if it includes a lot of stuff that you don't like, then just go slower than you thought you would. Just readjust your schedule to moving slower, but still move forward with it. Definitely still advised to don't try to rush the process, and definitely still advised to channel that emotion into a creative work that can reflect what it is that the growth that you are personally experiencing as well. You know, if it takes longer, what am I doing? If it takes longer than you thought it would, let it. It's as simple as that. Let it. Trying to rush it isn't the key here. You don't. You know, and it's particularly relevant because you are coming out of a period of mourning and you are still experiencing that deep heartache and frustration. So for those of you that aren't meeting a divine masculine or divine feminine in the near future who fits the bill better than this person who you just had to move away from, you may be, you know, jogging along at a comfortable speed, you know, thinking, okay, I can do this. I'm painting a picture of the type of person I want to call in. I'm calling them in. I'm channeling my emotions into this work. Everything is going good. And it sneaks up on you. Then when the work doesn't go the way you thought it would, when the success, the rewards aren't what you thought they would be, when the process is more complex and full of the details that you don't actually like to mess with, then suddenly some frustration and even anger could bubble to the surface that you've been suppressing, right? You handled the mourning really well. You handled things falling apart really well. You handled the nostalgia really well. And you look at you blossoming and having this new beginning. And then it can get really frustrating when you realize, gosh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be either. that wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I held myself together so well, and now this isn't what I thought it was going to be either. You know, you could hold that back all the way till you implode on the wrong thing, right? You know, it has its human nature. You know, you may not take it out on the situation currently, and you may kind of save that explosion for later. And that's so unfair to you and to whatever you're creating. Because if this person was a wolf in sheep's clothing, if things were meant to fall apart with them, then ultimately they're less important to your overall picture than this creation that you're giving life to, that is going to turn around and give life to you and to other people, to heal you and other people, to reflect you to other people, right? That's so much more important. So how unjust to yourself to allow that outburst and that frustration to not ruin, but to taint in any way something that really is beautiful and therapeutic and worthy and deserving of your care and your nurture the way that you yourself are, right? But I just see that in the cards. I see that on the table. I see that coming at some point, you know, and this is a warning. This is, you know, to be aware of it coming so that you know, be mindful of that now so that it doesn't happen. And it's after that feeling of a new beginning that you have from it. It might just be really frustrating for some of you to find out that the meat and potatoes of the process requires some work that's not exactly what you wanted to do, right? So just again, when you feel that frustration, I don't see why not continue to channel your emotions into the work itself if you can, however you can. I hope that helped, Virgos. I so hope that that reading offered you something that you didn't have when you came to the table, some insight, something that you didn't have. And I thank you for being here. I love you, and I will post another tarot fix for you soon.